the reasons, and I must say this, part of the reasons, even if there was no MK, even if I was not going to do anything, one of the things that I was not comfortable with throughout my years in Parliament, the 10 years in Parliament, was a culture of disruption and rudeness that characterized those that we served with. And all of those things were just planned, like in a childish way, with no purpose. Sometimes even when there are areas of agreement, you realize that on this question we can agree. Why don't we sit down and agree on this issue and then we'll raise our issues robust? No, today we're going to disrupt. It was not something that happened spontaneous. It was planned in a meeting. And I can tell you now that there was only one person who initiated those disruptions. It was not the leadership collective. And that was mistaken to be said so-called militancy and radicalism. And we kept on asking, how does this relate to voters on the ground or to the people that sent us here? And that is why some of those things, there is 600,000 lesser people who voted for that organization because they realized, but we sent you to represent us there, but you are grandstanding. So it's one of the things which, even if there was no MK or any other thing, we were going to disassociate from. And we raised it internally. What is the strategic value? What is the tactical value even of wanting to be disruptive? And what then happens? You know, the saddest thing that you will see is that the younger generations that get to associate with that organization, even in councils and legislatures, for no reason they just go and disrupt and engage themselves in violence. And then they think that is being revolutionary because the leader says, no, that is being revolutionary. What kind of revolution is that? That is just disruption even when it's senseless. It's one of the things which will never define and be the character of Maibuye. We'll engage robustly, we'll tell the truth, we'll tell no lies, we'll claim no easy victories. But we will not be disruptive for the sake of it. We will not be disrespectful and just want to disrupt at any given point, even when you have got an opportunity to give leadership and guidance. One of the things which coincidentally has got to define Maibuye is that it's not an ethnic organization. It will never be an ethnic or a tribal organization. It's truly a national organization. So, you know, now the leadership of Maibuye, at the core level of the leadership, we are like 15 or 16 or 17 people. But if you were to just pay closer attention of the people that are within the leadership, 15 people. So all the languages of South Africa are represented just in the 15. Let's say we language composition of the Secretary General, the TG Magubane, their first language is isiZulu, and they are part of the leadership of Maibuye. The national organizer, his first language, I understand as well as Bishop Zondo sometimes. The first language is the Sesotho, as in the southern Sesotho, and they are part of the leadership as well. The national chairperson, the first language that she speaks is Setswana, and she's part of the leadership of Maibuye as well. The DSG, Gabsile Shongwe, her first language is Siswati. She's part of the leadership as well. The other DSG, Ludalibelo, his first language is Sepedi. He's part of the leadership as well. The first Deputy National Convener, her first language is Xhosa. She's part of the leadership as well. The second Deputy National Convener, his first language is Tshivenda. He is part of the leadership as well. The Deputy National Organizer, her first language is Afrikaans. She's part of the leadership as well. Lindy Spiers is not here. And myself, I speak Nbolabla song. And so there is not a single language category that is not represented. Just the 15 of us in the leadership. The convener of the traditional leadership, who is part of the national officials, speaks isiNdebele. It's his first language. He's part of the leadership as well. So there is not a single language in South Africa that is not represented in the composition of the leadership of Maibuye. And that is the principle that we apply in all the leadership collectives that we constitute. So there will never be a leadership in a province that is just one grouping of people that are leading, or people from one region that are leading. It will always be reflective. And in the overall composition, you will find royal leadership, you will find traditional leadership, you will find faith leaders, you will find religious leaders. We've already given an illustration, and that is what will be the character of Maibuye, an organization that is a true microcosm and representative of the people of South Africa, so that it is able to speak on behalf of the people. We have heard all of the views that are given to us, and we will take each and every perspective into full consideration. That this organization is your organization, is for everyone. I can tell you now that even when we do the guidelines later on selecting who must be councillors or councillor candidates for local government elections in 2026, it will be compulsory to have a formal endorsement of a faith-based institution, be it a church or a mosque, for someone to be a candidate of Maibuye. You can't just come with your jacket only and say, I'm a leader, without endorsement of any church or any mosque that says that we as a people, we trust this person. And in the rural areas that are led by traditional leaders, you can't just be a councillor candidate of Maibuye without the clear endorsement and agreement by the traditional council in those areas. Because what has been happening now, you have got councillors who undermine traditional leaders in the rural areas. You have got councillors who do not even know which are the churches in the wards that they reside in. You have got councillors are going to finish a term next year, have never been to the churches in their own wards. Who are they representing if they can't go to churches to listen to the people? Who are they representing? And that is the nature of public representation that we want to move away from, and have proper public representation that represents our people. We are going to culminate this process. We have listened and we hear all of the views that are coming. So the proposed program is such that we are going to consolidate a report of the entire consultation process and say that this is what we have heard our people say. And the voices that we are hearing thus far is that we should found a political movement. And a component of that political movement will be a political party. And because we do not want to disappoint our people, we have already started with the regulatory compliances that are needed to register a political party. We have already begun with the process to make sure that we have a political party that exists to represent our people of South Africa. And that will be Africa Maibuye movement, as a movement that is going to represent our people. And we can assure you that it is not going to be an elite organization that exists somewhere in the sky and it is not within the people. So if you are asking us, who are the leaders, the people who are going to lead Maibuye? It's yourselves as religious leaders, as faith-based leaders. It's yourselves in the ward. The comrade says we can take ward 92. Is it 112? 92 in Johannesburg. It's yourselves who must meet. You go to the other church leaders and say, we are going to elections. Let's agree amongst ourselves, who do we feel as a candidate? And how do we support them? And then how do we work under Maibuye to win this ward so that we know what are the issues that we have to attend to?